How old are you?
16.
How long have you suffered from depression?
Since I was 7.
Have you experienced any hallucinations or delusions before?
I have.
What have you experienced?
I've seen birds, specifically one bird, a robin with an orange belly. I'll see him out in like fields with other birds. I've seen a tree. I was once with one of my friends, and we were exploring a park that I know very well, and I noticed that there was a brand new spruce, and I didn't like where they put it, so I was going on like a rant on how they put the tree in the wrong spot, and it turned out that I seemed like I was being crazy because there was no tree, and he had no idea what I was talking about. And I've actually had one case where I've seen a person that wasn't there. I had a friend over, and they were going home, and their sister was picking them up, and there was only 2 people in the car, but I saw 3 people go into the car. And I asked my friend the next night, "Hey, was there 3 people in that car?" And they said no, but I saw like a girl with a pink backpack. It was very vivid, and there's no way I could have just saw it by accident. You know what I mean? Like a play of something playing with your eye.
Do you hear voices in your head?
I do.
Is there any specific ones to
Yes,
talk about?
there has been a voice that has been around since I can remember. His name is Xander. Well, that's what he calls himself anyway.
How did he come into existence?
The earliest memory of him was probably when I was like 7, and well, I could have been 6 or 7. I don't know, but I don't remember exactly how he started. I just remembered he was in my head telling me stuff, telling me what I was doing wrong or what I was doing right, and how I should or shouldn't do something, stuff like that, But I can't remember a first memory of him. It's kind of like when you learn how to speak, you don't remember how you learned, you just remember knowing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that.
Is there any other voices?
Sometimes. It depends. It's weird because it can depend on my mood, and it can just happen randomly. But there are some voices sometimes, but not all the time, not constant.
What do they sound like?
There is quite a wide variety. They can speak in normal conversations one day, and then the next day it can sound like a cafeteria, full of angry to nice or sad voices. It basically sounds like you're in the middle of a busy street.
Can you give us some examples of things they say?
Let me think. There was one time I was walking, and I'm very insecure about my weight, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I heard these 2 guys talking about how I looked really big, and how they didn't see any kind of human that could be that big until me. And it was weird because no one was around. And I know I'm not that big, so it would be weird for somebody to be saying that, but there was 2 guys in my head saying that I was too big to be human. Stuff like that. It's often negative, but there are some positive thoughts. And there are times where they're not even talking to me. It could be a random conversation they're having with themselves. I've heard old ladies talking about dogs before, and there's no old ladies talking about dogs. Stuff like that.
How do Xander and your other voices affect your thinking?
The other voices don't really affect me as far as what I do. It can be distracting, but Xander is very affecting. The most the most affecting thing I've seen so far, and it happened in the last month. I was doing a test in math actually, and I couldn't figure out this problem, and Xander was like, "Hey, I know this. I'll tell you how to do it." And it was the most random thing. The equation was wrong and everything else, but I was listening because I didn't know what to do, and I got a huge F on it, but he was telling me how to do the test.
Does Xander ever actually help you?
He remembers stuff that I don't remember that's happened. He will tell me memories that I of course have, but I have to be reminded to have. He'll tell me stuff that's happened before that I forget. So I guess it could be helpful in that sense.
In your opinion, do you have any anger problems?
Yes. My father and his father had anger issues, and in my family, there's been a long line of anger issues in the male side of our family, and it has been passed down to me. And I've got some pretty bad anger issues. Like I'll get so angry sometimes that I can black out and do things that I don't remember when I'm not angry. I'll black out, do something, and I won't remember it when I'm calmed down.
What things do you do when you're blacked out?
I I hit things. Like there was this one time I got really angry, and I was about to go take a shower, and I ended up punching the shower head and breaking it. So now we don't have a shower. I've punched a hole in a wall.
What is a flipper?
It's something I've created. Apparently, my dad said I've had one since I was super, super little. It's something that actually helps me with concentrating on things when the voices get really loud or Xander isn't being the nicest person in the world. I can use my flipper to concentrate on things I want to concentrate on and calm me down. It's like a stress reliever almost.
Can you tell us what happened in August of 2016?
My depression got super high. It got worse than normal, and I was very suicidal, and I attempted a few times. And one of these times, the person I was staying with realized what I had done and had called the cops on me, and they took me to a hospital, and they put me in a isolation. I don't know what that's called, but they put you in a room where you can't hurt yourself. It was all padded and everything, and I was stuck there until they had someone come out and talk to me to analyze me and see if I was still suicidal, ask me some questions, and figure out whether I was safe on my own or if they needed to hold me for a while. And I ended up staying there for about 3 days before they let me go. But then they let me go because they thought I was okay, and I was. I wasn't so eager to do things to myself by then because I think it was the stress of being around so many people. I didn't want that again. So I didn't want to try and make that happen again.
Was it ever your intention to actually kill yourself?
Two of the times it was, but one of the times it was not my great an intention where it was a feeling that I got that the world would be better without me. So I guess I was trying to kill myself, but it wasn't something I wanted to do. It was something I thought I had to do.
What's it like living with these disorders?
I mean, it can be distracting. It can be sad, of course. It can both be lonely and get rid of my loneliness at the same time, I guess, because I could. There were times in my life where I was very lonely, but I had Xander and everything. But knowing that they weren't real is another sense of loneliness that I was talking to things that were in my head. So I guess it affects the way I feel with the social status that I may have. It does affect how I feel in everyday life when it comes to my depression or my anger or my stress levels. But I've pretty much learned how to cope with it and live on a semi-normal level with it, so it doesn't affect me as much as it did.
Do you feel like your depression is somewhat gone or has subsided over time?
I wouldn't say it would be gone, but I would. I guess it could be dormant almost because I haven't felt any strong urge depression, but it's still there definitely because I know it's still there, but it has dumbed down and not been as harsh on me as it was before.
Do you ever feel like there's anything good about these disorders or about having voices in your head?
I mean, I've got a friend that never leaves, but I wouldn't call it a bonus. Yeah, I wouldn't call it good.
Is there anything you want to tell people about schizophrenia or depression?
It's kind of like living in an asylum, but not. only you're really sad to be there. Like it's a very rainy day and no one's giving you a cookie. That's what it feels like.
Does Xander have anything to say?
He doesn't want to say anything appropriate because he doesn't want to be included into the interview. So he's just saying a lot of profanity.